Hi guys, welcome to Creations by Karen. Today I'm going to show you this lovely wreath that you can give to your mom for Mother's Day. So let's get going. The first thing you're going to need is a 14-inch wreath form. You're able to get these at any dollar store. I live in Canada, so they're very plentiful here in Canada. And also I was able to find this really nice burner cover at my local dollar store as well. And I did put some holes in the side so I'll be able to affix this to my wreath form itself. You're going to need some white Chanel stems as well as some silver ones. You can really use any color that you want. I just try to go with the colors that I'm using for my mesh. You're going to need a small roll of deco mesh, and I live in Canada and we don't have a whole lot of selection for mesh, and I was able to find this at my local dollar store. It's not the greatest mesh, it certainly frays a lot, but I'm not going to be cutting it with anything. I'm just going to be affixing it to the wreath form. And then I got this at my local Michael's store. They had a big sale and I was able to pick up a lot of mesh at the Michael's store. So I've gone ahead and I've applied all my Chanel stems to my wreath form and also affixed the burner cover to the inside of the wreath form. I have one Chanel stem on each bracket around, and also there's 5 on the inside of white Chanel stems. On the outside I've affixed a bracket on the outside wreath form that I'm using, and I was able to put 1 on each bracket and also put 3 on the inside. So you have this wreath form actually has 4 bracket or sections. So this is the outside. We are not going to be using it. We're going to use the middle 2, and I've affixed this to the inside bracket. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how this goes. Pretty simple, not a lot of material, and actually very inexpensive to make. And hopefully you'll be able to whip this up for your mom for Mother's Day. I know my mom would have loved it. So I'm going to take my white deco mesh, and I like to start about halfway on the side, only because I don't want extra mesh at the top. So all I'm going to do is scrunch this mesh like so, and I'm just going to affix it to one of the brackets, just like so. Now when I was deciding how I was going to make this, I decided that I was going to use about 6-inch poofs, I guess they call it, on this mesh, with this mesh. And so what I did was I took just a piece of cardboard that I had, and then I just kind of decided how long I wanted it, and then I just grab it where it stops and just place it down into the next Chanel stem, just like this. And I twist it maybe 2 or 3 times. I did cut my Chanel stems into 3, just so I could get more out of one stem. They're certainly big enough. And then I just take my piece of cardboard, measure how big I want the poof, and just affix it to your next Chanel stem, just like this. Just measure it out, and just affix it down. Just like that. Okay, so I've gone ahead and did one with all the mesh for the white on the inside, just to save a bit of time. And this is what it looks like once I've affixed all the white mesh to the inside row. Okay, so there's my sign on the inside, and the white mesh is applied as well. So then I'm just going to go to the outside row. So I just take my deco mesh that I got. Now it is quite a bit bigger, which is what I wanted, because I wanted it to be able to be seen on the outside. And I'm just going to fix this the same way as I did the inside row. So once again, I have my Chanel stem on the bracket, and I'm just going to place it down and then just affix it to the wreath form with the Chanel stem. And I did use the same cardboard as well. And once again, there's 3 poofs of silver going on the outside. Just take your form that you've made. And I like just to put it down on the wreath form itself to measure it, and that way it can be fairly accurate. And just place it down and secure it with the chenille stem. Just twist it around. Probably should have made these a little bit bigger, the chenille stems, but it's working okay. Just take your next one. And I'm not that concerned right now with poofing them out, I guess, because I'm going to do that at the end. And I think in hindsight, probably what I would do is do the outside first, and then do the inside. But it's all a learning curve when you're crafting. You don't know what you think you're going to like and what you don't until you've actually gone ahead and done one. And this probably won't take much more than an hour from start to finish. I think this would be something that kids could do as well. It's kind of nice that you don't have to do any cutting of mesh with this particular wreath, except of course at the end when you're cutting the end off, but I mean that's great. I mean I do a lot of crafts using a wood burner. It's kind of nice not have to use it. I'm certainly getting a lot of crafting done with this pandemic that's going on. Very little to do other than stay home and do some crafts, which is great. It's kind of nice using this bigger mesh because it fills everything in, which is great. I like this that it has some foil going through it, so it gives it a bit of a shimmer, which is nice. I think the most important thing to remember when you're making this wreath is to keep your poofs the same size, so that they all look uniform as you're going around. And just if you have a scrap piece of cardboard or anything that you can use as a guide to ensure that that happens, that's important. Like finding all sorts of new ways to make wreaths. Sure is a lot out there. You could spend hours and hours on YouTube looking at different wreaths, and there's lots of tutorials out there looking at how to make them, and you know, you just find one and you see if you can try it and off you go. I live in Canada though, so we have a very restricted amount of mesh that we have. Certainly I can get some mesh at Michael's, but unless it's on sale, I don't buy a lot of it. It is about 17 rolls or $17 a roll, and I think that's a bit pricey. There is 35 feet in this particular roll, though, so that's quite a bit. I could probably make 2 or 3 wreaths with it, which is great. Yep, I think in hindsight, I probably will do the outside first, and then my next one I'll do on the inside. Outside first, and then the inside. It's a little bit, maybe a little bit easier. We'll see. I don't know. I'll let you know how that goes. What's nice is when you have the contrasting or the same color of the mesh that you're using for your Chanel stems, that you don't have to really worry about cutting them off. I mean, I certainly do if they're really long, but they're kind of hidden in the wreath. And so, you know, just one less step, I guess, that you have to do. It's great. They sure have a lot of different kinds of burners covers that you can get. I saw one with a rooster on it. I thought that was really cute. Although I do live in the city, I don't know how many people would enjoy a wreath with a rooster. So I went with this one because it was nice and it was pretty neutral looking, which is great. So in hindsight, going back, I'll just decide to make my Chanel stems a little bit longer so they're less work trying to find them and open them up. And then do the outside outside first before the inside, just because I think it just will be a little bit easier. Once again, I'll poof it all out at the end. And really, once this is on, you can't see the wreath form, which is great. I was thinking I might have to spray paint it white, but I don't think I need to. I think once you have all your poofs in, it's full enough that you don't have to worry about it. It's great. Almost done. It's awesome. I quite like the fact that I don't have to cut any mesh. It's a nice change. Kind of new to this wreathing thing, and done a lot of ones with petals, and that involves a lot of cutting of the mesh with my wood burner, and This is pretty simple. It's kind of nice also that you don't have to lay something on it for it to lay flat before you give it out, because you don't want to lay it flat and flatten all the ruffles. More. Actually, I think this is the end of it. Don't see any more in here. Perfect. All right, I'm just going to cut this off. Some scissors here. Then you can go ahead and just fluff out all your hoofs. I like just to turn them and twist them. And then often what I like to do is just put a chenille stem on the back to hang it. Just take one like this and then twist it. And you're just going to fix this to one of the back brackets. I know that this one's kind of right at the top. It's going to go right here. And what I like to do is just slip it in, twist this around, and twist this one around too. Just like that. And just give it a couple of nice turns, like so. And just clip off the excess. And often what I like to do is finish the back of the wreath. I'll just find something felt or some old, or not an old, a new placemat that I can get in a good color that would match this, and then I just affix it. So that's where you have it. Here's your sign, and I'm sure every mom would enjoy to have this in her home. That's it for today, guys. Have a great afternoon, and I'll talk to you again. Bye now.